Hey, welcome to another episode of Chad's Beer Reviews. It may not seem like it, but we actually got a really special beer tonight. If you've been watching me for a while, you know, and Jay, we're big fans of Brown's Brewing Company out of Troy, New York. They make that whiskey barrel porter that I love, and I always send to people when I do beer trades with them. But this is their own, kind of like their own personal Dark Lord, or whatever you want to call it. I mean, as you can see on the label here, it just says Brown's Brewing Company Imperial Stout, 10.4% ABV, Pride of New York. There's no other description about it, but it's a big deal beer because they only made, I think, like 84 bottles of this. And I got 2 of them. And they were only $6 each. I mean, how good of a deal is that? I'm using, normally I would use my tulip or snifter, but I'm going to use the Brown's tumbler glass, you know, just to match it. So let's get into this. Since this is a big beer, I'm going to pour this to 𝐁𝐫𝐴 right down the middle, see if I can get a nice kind of creamy head here. Oh yeah. Oh my god. That beats Bourbon County Stout for the darkest beer I've ever seen. I mean, look at that head. That is almost a black head. It is definitely, that's the darkest head I've ever seen. And even the liquid itself, I mean, it just looks like used motor oil coming right out of the bottle there. I could smell it as soon as I popped the top. And yeah, kind of dark fruits, almost like a Coca-Cola kind of smell to it. Yeah, kind of like dark, like black cherry and, you know, kind of something like that. Licorice. Alright, so this looks absolutely great. Let's get into it. Oh, yeah. Sorry it took such a long, big swig there. I had to get through all that head. Looks like I killed half the glass on the first swig. Yeah, the head was imparting like a nice kind of... It's actually more like a foamy type of head than a creamy head. But it's imparting like a lot of bitterness. And then when the actual liquid beer hits me, it's just that really great classic American Imperial Stout flavor. A lot of black licorice, a lot of dark chocolate, a lot of bitter coffee, like a French roast coffee, leaving kind of a sticky aftertaste. So smooth. Extremely smooth. It's one of the few beers that has like such a nice... you know, soft, comfortable mouthfeel that complements and almost is as good as the palate. I mean, it's a really complex beer. I mean, it doesn't start out like that robust. I mean, it starts out just like kind of typical Imperial Stout, and then on the second half, it just kind of turns on a dime. Black licorice for sure, dark chocolate, coffee, that kind of, like I was saying, the nose, the black cherry and the plum, those kind of dark fruit flavors in there. Leaving this kind of sticky, you know, almost like a chocolate syrup aftertaste, like if you made chocolate milk and then licked the spoon. Kind of like that flavor. Only like kind of stickier. I'm not ready to rate yet. As you can see, I still have plenty of beer left here in the bottle. But I am going to, you know, sip on this, write up a text review, and we'll come back to my final thoughts. So we'll be right back. Oh, hey, I'm back finishing up the Brown's Imperial Stout. Wow, I am really impressed with this beer. You know, it's funny, I never actually had this on tap. This is my first time trying this. And I'm glad I did. It was totally worth the, you know, 10-minute drive to get 2 bottles of this. Really, really good Imperial Stout. So well balanced. I mean, you're getting those nice, sweet, kind of chocolatey, black cherry, licorice type, you know, sweeter kind of components. But at the same time, you're getting a lot of hop bitterness, a lot of coffee bitterness, a lot of like bittersweet chocolate, dryness in there to balance the whole thing out. So it's not like, I mean, there's a slightly sticky, slightly overly sweet component to the palate, but then there's also like this really, it leaves a surprisingly dry aftertaste. Kind of like when you get to the bottom of a cup of coffee or something like that, or if you just drink black coffee. That being said, I mean it's a really good beer. It's not, you know, the best beer or like the best Imperial, or it's not even as good as it is. I would not give it a 10, but I will give a 9 to the Brown's Imperial Stout. I mean, what's kind of holding it back for me is that the palate isn't. I'm not really getting a lot of the roasty malts you tend to get in a lot of Imperial Stouts of this nature. Not quite as robust as I prefer. But what is really impressive about it, and what I really like about it is the drinkability. I mean, that mouthfeel is so soft, so comfortable. It goes down so smooth. It's amazing. 10.2%, or 10.4, I'm sorry. The website says 10.2, the bottle says 10.4. I don't know. We'll say 10.3. You know, technically that's a pretty big beer, but there's only like the slightest little bit of heat in this. Otherwise, like it's more of like a clean kind of vodka or something like that, as opposed to like a rum or anything, or a whiskey. You know, you're not getting any smokiness out of this or vanilla. I would love to have this beer aged in the whiskey cask that they use for their whiskey porter. I think that would be absolutely amazing. That would be like a Parabola or Founders KBS. Maybe they're working on it. I don't know. So the guys at Brown's, if you're watching this, you know, think about it. That's a good idea. So yeah, 9 out of 10 for Brown's Imperial Stout. I mean, it's an excellent Imperial Stout. I had thought about reviewing this with dinner because I had some filet mignons for dinner, and this would have went excellent with that. But you know, as a dessert beer, it's you know, pulling its weight. So yeah. That does it for this episode of Chad's Beer Reviews. Thanks for watching. I'll see you next time. Cheers.